This is why you value people. I firmly believe anything great that's ever been done has been done through the vessel of another person. But oftentimes we live in this world and it's so transactional, right? A person can speak to you and they're not even waiting on a response. Most people, when they ask a person, hey man, how are you doing? They don't really mean it, right? We live in this world, it's so transactional. Value people, right? You never know what God will do through another person. Value people. We went to a workout a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, we get done and we're driving home and it's storming in Atlanta. And we're getting off on our exit and we're coming up on a red light. And we're coming to a stop and a truck comes by us, big truck. And it sends water our way, and me and my son, the truck shakes a little bit, and so I drive with one hand. And so when it shakes a little bit, I'll never forget feeling like, oh man, a little slight, little hydroplane deal, and it kept going. And so when it started to spin, I was like, God, no. But as it was spinning toward a retainer wall, and we were on a ramp. And I'm like, God, like, no, man, like, if my truck hits that, me and my son were flipping over, and it's gonna be a nice fall. And so the truck continued to spin. And I heard the Spirit saying to me, let go of the wheel. And I'm like, God, this is the only thing I got. But I heard the Spirit loud and clear, let go of the wheel, Ink. And I'm like, no, this is the only thing. If I let go, I'm going toward the wall. Right? Oftentimes in life, God is saying, let go of the will. Fortify your faith. Trust me, I got it under control. The scripture says it. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. Let go of the will. And so as we continue to spin, it's like, all right, God, I let it go. And when I let it go, my son said, Dad, I feel like we're about to die. And the truck hits the wall. And instead of flipping over, it flips back in the opposite direction. And when it flips back in the opposite direction, we land upright after rolling a couple times. I get out, I get my son out. My son is crying. And as I'm trying to get him situated, I'm trying to call my wife. And as I'm trying to call my wife, cars are going by, and I get through to my wife and say, hey, babe, me and Ink had an accident. Can you pick us up? We're here. She was like, no problem, I'm on the way. And as soon as I hang up the phone, a white car drives up, and it's storming. And when the car drives up, a guy rolls down the window, and he says to me, I didn't recall ever seeing this guy ever. And so I'm not one of these guys, I go everywhere and somebody knows my name. And so the guy pulls up, his window rolls down, and he says loud and clear, hey, Ink, are you good? Yeah. We good. He was like, I'm gonna pull over, man. I'm gonna help you and your son get out of the rain. And when he pulls over, I walk up to his car. I was like, man, if you don't mind, I just wanna put my son in the back seat, get him out of the rain. He was like, no, you get in too. And so as I was getting in, my son says, hey, Dad, your arm is bleeding. And so I say to the guy, hey man, my arm is bleeding, I'm gonna get out. You know, I don't wanna drip any blood in your car. If you don't mind, can my son stay in? He was like, no problem. And so the guy gets out with me, and so I'm standing there, and I'm trying to process what happened. We just flipped over a few times. I'm trying to process it. And so the guy walks over to me, and he says to me, hey man, you don't remember me, huh? I was like, nah, I can't say that I do. And to be honest, I wasn't trying to remember. I'm like, bro, I just flipped over. Like, I'm out of here right now, man. And he poses the question again, you don't remember me, huh? I was like, no, I can't say that I do. He pulls out his phone and he puts it in my face like, bow. He's like, look at this picture. And it was me and him in the airport. He said 2020 was the roughest, toughest, darkest year of my life. I was coming through the airport and I saw you. And he said, I didn't want to bother you. And I was like, man, just going on about your business. He said, and I stopped. And when I stopped to talk to you, like you were nice as all get out, you encouraged me, you prayed for me, man, you stopped. And he said, when I walked off, I said to myself, like, God, please let me see him again. I just want to be of service and help him if I ever see him again. And he said, as I was getting off the exit today and I saw you, I was like, God, I know that's not ink. And when I saw him, I was like, God, you cold-blooded.